Let's go ahead and get started. We did it. We did it. We survived 2 weeks of spring break, sitting at our house, watching mold grow in Grace's hair, but we made it back. We got 60 people here. Some of them are not even my students. Some of them are former students that I wish would go home and stay home. But we're going to do this together, gang. Couple things. Yeah, the focus is going to go in and out. Much like you guys, my camera can't stay focused for very long, much like myself. We're here in the Mr. Robinson Studios, a.k.a. Brody's room, a.k.a. makeshift office, a.k.a. it's a disaster in here. This is the only clean part here. But what else would be different? So what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about the stuff that we need to cover. I can't hear anything. I've got, the Bose headphones on. It's oddly quiet in here. I'm sure you could probably hear a fan. I see we got a bunch of kids in the chat right now. Some of them I know. Some of them I don't know. I see Zoe's here. Okay. Clearly Prison's got the internet going. Awesome. Nice. Kathy's here. Watch out. Mom's here. God. Now, what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to probably be here for about an hour. Not sure yet. Imagine not being a Robinson student. Kendall, that's a great point. I can't imagine that. Actually, I can, because I was never a student for myself. I did teach a lot of things to myself, but we'll see how we go. Okay. So a couple things. We're going to be talking about the Indian Removal Act and how this relates to what we were left off with 2 weeks ago, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys don't even remember. Okay. Indian Removal Act was about a man named Andrew Jackson. My class, we've talked about Andrew Jackson a lot. A lot of things have happened. Okay. Andrew Jackson, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who said his two greatest regrets as president was not killing people. Two particular people, in fact. Go ahead and put their names in the chat if you can remember the two people he wished he would have killed in his presidency. Now, the Indian Removal Act was one of the last things he accomplished as president in his time. And it set forth a lot of that age of manifest destiny that we talked about. This expansion into new territory. Okay. Now, a couple things, though. One, we're going to need some civics knowledge. Now, I know my students, and being that there's some students who I didn't have in here, they're going to realize that your civics ability wasn't great. So we're going to do the best we can. Making sure my microphone is on. This would have been terrible if this was off. Green. Now, ooh, that was a jaw click. Ow. Not good. Couple things. First and foremost, one, we need to know what separation of power is. Okay. Oh, gosh. Joseph's in here with his gross mustache. Go back to freshman year, man. It's terrible. Now, a couple things first. Now, the interaction is weird because I'm used to saying slightly harsh things, right? But knowing my students as well as I do, I'm pretty sure I can pull this off in one fell swoop. Now I got like 7 classes to go through, right? Well, 6 technically. How can I make fun of enough people? So first off, 1, Thomas, don't be mean to people, okay? You're the little train that couldn't. You get it. 2, Connor. What's going on, my man? I have like 5 Connors, so I can't really insult Connor because there's too many of them. Let's see who else we have here in the chat. Okay. Alex Martin. Okay. We're going to do Kahoot online. That's a solid no on that one, my man. Okay. Now, let's see. Roland, you can get out of here with your selling stuff because we don't need that. Go ahead and say no in the chat for me on that one. Hudson, hopefully you're keeping it honest, keeping it mean. Croissant, I'm sure she's out there somewhere. Flaky as all ever. Okay. What else we got? Will's just a walking pile of all sorts of things. I don't even know. Let's see. We got Avery in here. Up high. Get it? Because she's tall. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It really does help when you guys use your actual names in some of these usernames because some of them are pretty terrible. SSBU Derpy Gamer. Awesome. Okay. Some people might think I'm lame for being Donut King. Just let that sink in for a minute. Okay. Now, what else we got? We got Karina in here. I'm more sure she's wearing some garbage UF shirt again. Quite normal. Okay. Let's see. We got Grace. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Crafty Guy. Fantastic. I bet your hair is turning white as we speak. Just taking a shot in the dark. I can only imagine. If I think of someone who would possibly use the name Crafty Guy, it has to be Mitch. I'm just taking a shot in the dark here. Shot in the dark. It's the best we can do. Now, I see some people asking what video won here. Oh, well, I'm not quite sure yet. I think we're going to do that Wednesday. How about we make that official? 11:45 Wednesday morning. We're announcing who won the music video contest. We're going to make it official. We're going to play live that music video so we can all see this. I think we need to know. 11:45 Wednesday. We're announcing it. I'm going to probably have to go get some donuts for myself. I got to break quarantine to go get the donuts. We're gonna do this. Ainsley, if it's your video, we're showing it. I'm gonna live critique it online. This will be pretty good. So I made topic of the day. I'm gonna get less distracted by what's going into the chat here. Oh, I see Ronnie came back. Great. Braces. Unfortunate. Now, take a look here. We're going to be talking about the Indie Removal Act. So we're going to go ahead and we need to transition over to the Mr. Robinson PowerPoint channel. So let's go ahead. Okay. It should be popping up in a minute. We always have a struggle here. I always forget to put the microphone in. You should hear me in about 10 seconds. Man, so many audio. So much audio. Here it comes. There it goes. Good golly gosh, we cannot hear. Mic off. Oh my goodness. Chill, you guys. Mic is off. Better. Yay. We can't listen. Yay. It's back. Woohoo. Okay, good. As you guys can tell, there's about a 20-second delay. So if something is wrong, it will take me 20 seconds to pick up on it. So we're going to go back to what we were saying earlier. Indian Removal Act, Andrew Jackson's idea of expanding agricultural rights to Americans, pushing out Native Americans. Let's get through this. We need to understand what is happening here. Now, first and foremost, when we think of the Indian Removal Act, it offered Native Americans new lands west of the Mississippi River. So we're talking modern-day Oklahoma, parts of Montana, Nebraska, all that area out there. However, this is not their ancestral lands. It's like telling someone who's from Queens, hey, we're going to move you to Kansas. It's the same thing. It's just like Queens, just not. Right? And it kind of made people upset. But the problem was the tribes that they're moving out here. Should you be taking notes? I would think so. This is Mr. Robinson's class from home. So if you want to take notes, go ahead and take notes. All the PowerPoint will be in Schoology, probably on Wednesday as well. So that way you can do this. And also remember, you can go back and watch this video as many times as you want. So you can see me go over these notes again. But what we're thinking is that these tribes in particular were not like your average Native American tribes. We've talked about a bunch this year, like the Wampanoag, the Pequot, the Shoshone, but these ones were the great tribes of the southeastern United States, known as the Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek, Seminole, and Cherokee. Now, the thing about these 5 tribes in particular is this. They had done what we call assimilated into American culture. And what does assimilation mean? It just means to blend in. So it's not like they lived in our society and stayed separate, but at the same time, they adopted Americanized culture. They adopted Christian names and American school systems and things like that. So these Native Americans, instead of trying to remain isolated and separate from American culture, they tried to adapt to it and become a part of it. And one of the things that we noticed is that unlike other Native American tribes that tried through warfare to get their way and to maintain their lands, they tried constitutional method. Okay? And that would make more sense. They tried to maintain the constitutional method of going through it. So they're going to fight using the court system, using constitution. It made a whole lot of sense. Daniel, this is for all class periods. So I'm just going to do one big shot. One fell swoop. We're all going to make it through. Okay? Makes it easier. Okay. Now here's the thing, though. So we come to the case of Worcester versus Georgia, 1832. Now, Andrew Jackson had proclaimed that this territory that the Native Americans were living on is going to go to all Americans. And that we're going to relocate these Native American tribes to territory west. They're going to go west of the Mississippi River. Now, why is that important? Multiple reasons. That's like someone taking your house and say, hey, we're going to move you to this neighborhood, which is not as nice. You don't know anybody there. You're already taking someone else's land. That's going to be a problem. Okay, that's going to ultimately be a problem for you. And that's how the Native Americans felt. So the Supreme Court under John Marshall ruled that Georgia could not remove the Cherokee from their land because they were a recognized nation with their own recognized boundaries. Now, keep in mind, many of the times these Native Americans are being moved from their lands, the U.S. would create a agreement or a treaty with these tribes so that they couldn't be moved. But American government would constantly push against those treaties and constantly just renege on these treaties and keep going. Now, Jackson, you would feel as president, would be bound by a Supreme Court order, right? It makes the most sense. It's kind of like when, your dad says, don't do something. You're like, yeah, whatever. But then when mom does it and she freaks out and starts throwing brooms and stuff at you, you're like, oh, okay. This is a serious one. Now, if you're like Will's going to go all out, right? Will's going to be like, nah, I got this, okay? I'm still ordering the weird Shrek Mike Wazowski phone case. I don't care what anybody says. And that's kind of how Andrew Jackson does things, right? Supreme Court says, bruh, no, you cannot be going and kicking these people out of their lands. We made an agreement. This is their land. You can't do that. Okay, and Andrew Jackson's like, hello, sorry, I can't hear you. I couldn't understand you, sir. Our connection's breaking up. And, of course, they're going to be like, dude, sure, That's awesome. We don't have phones yet, haven't been invented yet. And he's like, doesn't matter, click. And does it anyway. So Andrew Jackson defies the Worcester versus Georgia decision in 1832 made by the Supreme Court and says, nah, we're just going to do what we're going to do. Right? We're just going to do what we're going to do. It's like me when my doctor says, hey, man, you need to probably not eat donuts anymore. Okay? Your heart can't take it. Now, at the same time, I'm just sitting there eating pounding 5 donuts at the same time. And I'm going to be like, yeah, that's not going to happen, bro. Okay, I hear you. I see you. But it ain't going to happen. Okay. Now, let's look at it this way. We're talking about someone who has changed the landscape of the presidency. We talked about that when we did our project, right? He's completely leveled all the precedents set by the original presidents. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Quincy Adams for that matter. And he just went it and did it his own way. Will this create problems in the future? Absolutely, it's going to create problems. Big ones. Were they foreseeable at the time? Not really. Okay? They really weren't that noticeable in the beginning. But what we're going to see, though, is this. Let's cut back. The way this is going to be carried out was brutal, unfortunately, for these tribes. Specifically for the Seminole. A lot of us remember the Cherokee when we think of the Trail of Tears, only because the Cherokee tribe was by far the largest of all of them. Okay? Now, that being said, when we see 15,000 Native Americans being forced from their homes and 4,000 would die during the move, these were unprecedented at the time. And even then, he is being cheered by his followers, right? Now, why would this be? Okay, so Jackson does not follow the Supreme Court ruling and sides with the state of Georgia. He is strongly supported by the planter elite. So these financially well-off, wealthy farmers, plantation owners, would love the idea. It means more money, more land, more space, more production, more income, more revenue. But the Cherokee were removed from the southeastern states into a territory in Oklahoma in 1838, and it would be the U.S. military that would go about doing this. Okay, the Cherokee believed that their legal victory would protect them from being removed from the land. However, they went ahead and did it anyway. Now, thousands would die because they were not prepared for the trip. They were forced out of their homes immediately. Gone. We're talking about a 1,200-mile trip. Okay, we're talking from southern Georgia to Oklahoma. If we want to try to get an understanding of walking 1,200 miles, just get out of your house right now and just start walking toward Washington, D.C. And at that point, you've made it roughly about 900 miles. You still got another 300 to go. We're talking a significant difference. The majority of those who died on this trip was the elderly and children because they were not physically capable of maintaining. So when we think back to the Trail of Tears, we think back to the Indian Removal Act, we think back to this is the legacy that's left behind from this time period. And you would think this is a pretty dark thing to happen. But at the same time, without these things, America doesn't get to where we are now. Does it excuse? Does it explain? Does it rationalize? Well, not necessarily. We're just talking, but as historians, we got to take off our rose-colored lenses, and we need to focus on, what we can take from this and where we are. It's much like we look back to our past as people. We look back on our past and we say, hey, I've been good for the most part, but I've done things that I'm not proud of. We've all heard many of my stories. I'm not always particularly, the best example of what I can and cannot be. But it's those good experiences on top of those bad experiences that make us into what we are. Now, for those of us who are respecting the chat and not putting silly, nonsensical things in there, because I've been keeping tabs on who is and who's not, and just keep in mind anything you guys are posting in the chat that's off task and silly and ridiculous and nonsensical, it is kept as record. And so we need to make sure we are behaving here as well while we're in the chat, right? Let's take it to the main screen. So when we're in the chat, it's as if you're in class. Now, a good question. Connor Allen asks, what do we do with the Indian removal questions on... I'm not quite sure what it says. You should. It just says on, so you kind of pause there. So I'm assuming, what do we do with these questions? They should be going into Schoology, into the assignment where it's posted. I believe it's due by Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. I might be mistaken. You guys will have a discussion board going over what we've talked about today. And like I said, if you did not watch this live, it's fine. You saw what we did. There is a PDF that's attached. You can attach it to that. If you don't have the technological prowess to answer it on the PDF, you could always go ahead and when you go to hit submit file in Schoology, in fact, let me see if we can walk you through this. That would be pretty nice if I can go ahead and pull that up for you. We're going to go ahead and switch over here now. If you're in Schoology, okay, we're going to see this assignment here. Yeah, Schoology's been having issues. Let's see if we can just keep reloading it until it opens. Booyah! Okay, we can see that a couple people in a forward period. Let's go ahead and turn it in. When you go here, and you're going to see submit assignment, when you click on submit, this is only going to show you from the teacher's aspect of it. When you click on submit, you'll see it'll say upload, but right next to where it says upload, it'll say create. If you click on create, you can just type your answers or copy and paste your answers, whatever you typed it on, in there and hit submit as well, and I will see just your answers, and that's perfectly fine. So Connor Allen says, I can't edit the PDF in Schoology. You will not be able to. So like I said, when you go to click submit, instead of hitting the upload, you'll see it'll say create right next to it. Just answer your questions in there. Now, I see some people are trying to help. Alif, we're going to go ahead and pause one. Some people don't, if you're using like a Chromebook, you can't download and edit. Okay? Some people may not know how, but I'm trying to give you a workaround. Or worst case scenario, you can open up a Word document, type your answers in there. That's perfectly fine. It doesn't need to be on said document. I mean, it helps. Okay? Because I can see all the questions and answers at the same time. But whatever floats your boat in this case, whatever makes it easier for you to get the assignment submitted and completed. So when we're going, let's go ahead and pull up the document just so we can kind of see what we're talking about here. Okay, my mouse is getting a little wonky here. All right, so it's giving you a nice little clean timeline. Helps you walk you through this. Gives you a couple documents. Now, I found this particular reading like a historian interesting because if you read Boudinot's his letter, it's pretty odd. Okay, because it's for no spoilers here. He is a Native American with a much different point of view than one that you would think a member of the Cherokee tribe would have. And that's what I want you guys to kind of focus on when you guys are doing this assignment. I want you to read his document very carefully. Because when you're reading this, you're going to go ahead and see specifically a different aspect to this entire movement, one that you didn't really think. I mean, when you read Jackson's letter, right? When you read Jackson's letter in the top, he's justifying his actions, and that makes perfect sense, and we understand that. But Boudinot's letter is going to come from a much different angle, and I want you guys to kind of primarily focus on that. Now, let's recap what we were just talking about just for a second ago. First, the Indian Removal Act takes place in 1832 while Jackson is president. The Trail of Tears takes place when he is no longer president. It is the process to which we got that point. Most Americans were behind this. Oh, looking at the chat real quick. If you understand his reasoning, and Norman, I agree with you. if you read it, it makes sense. But when you go into it, at first you're thinking, well, why would you think this? It's kind of like when someone gives you an odd opinion, but then explains it, and you're like, oh, well, actually, that makes sense. It's probably a great opinion. You just got to get there first. And I'm not trying to spoil the reading and make it easier for people to kind of just go through and do this. I want you to sit and read it first. So it's hard for me to explain it without actually giving it away. And on tomorrow's stream, I can go over it with you. We can do some real time, and hopefully I'm going to hold off on Schoology conferences till at least tomorrow with our classes, only because it looks like Schoology is just chaotic right this second. So I'm going to let this first day pass, right? But you can let those who are not able to watch the stream know now if this assignment is your attendance for the day. It needs to be submitted by 11:59 p.m. today. And if it is submitted, boom, I knew you were here. I knew you were following through. I knew you were doing the assignment. If it is not, well, we'll get there when we get there. But you need to make sure you have until 11:59 p.m. tonight. Okay? So we see some people saying, it's an enlightening read. It's kind of interesting. I like it. Cool. But all this is relevant toward Manifest Destiny because really, I mean, we talked about the reasoning why we came into getting a lot of these territories. Okay. Let's see. Are these streams going to always be at this time? For this week, I'm setting it for 11:45. I know a lot of teachers have a lot of different things they're doing, and it's hard for all of 70 of us to communicate at the same time and know what everybody's doing at what exact time and when they're doing it and how they're doing it. So for me, I'm just going to do 11:45 this week, and if I feel like it's conflicting with too many others, it's just it's due Tuesday at 11:45 or 11:55 or 11:59. Oh yeah, we're going to keep it for Tuesday. I must set it for Tuesday. You guys also have a discussion board. It's both. You're going to have to complete the discussion board, but I'm going to publish the discussion board tomorrow. Okay, I don't think I published it for everybody yet. I don't think it shouldn't be up there, at least right now, yet. So, Kathy, the assignment and discussion board will both be due by 11:59 p.m. Okay. Will the live stream stay on my channel? Yes, they will. You'll be able to you can actually go back and watch the question and answer one from like Friday, I think it was. I don't remember what day I did that. All these days are kind of blurring together. I've been stuck in the house for 2.5 weeks. But yeah, you'll be able to watch all of these videos starting at 11:45, and as soon as they're over, you can go back and rewatch. Keeps all the chat notifications, all the stuff, so that way if someone asks a question that you felt was important, you'll be able to have it. Fourth doesn't have the discussion yet. It's not posted. It's on there. You just can't see it. It's not published yet. I have to click a button for it, Hudson, for it to be published. Next, Severino has a question. Why are there 3 assignment tabs in the same assignment on Schoology? Are those all the same assignments? Well, 3 assignment tabs on Schoology? I'm not quite sure. Mitch, you're going to have to show me what you're talking about. Quick, hold on. Why are there 3 assignment tabs for the same assignment on Schoology? That seems odd. I'll have to take a look at it. You're in 3rd period now, Mitch. So I'm going to have to go back and look and see if I may have goofed up. Okay. I love the enlightening debate going on between Alif and Norman. That's what happens when those two are together. Now, like I said, this week is a lot of going to be trial and error. Okay. Also, the story time video will be posted. I want to say Wednesday is going to be a big day because that's when a lot of the stuff's going up. Wednesday is story time day. I already had to get all my cameras and stuff set up to film that. I'm probably going to film that today or tomorrow. Okay. So that's going up Wednesday. Yeah, this week's a very experimental week for us as well. Let's see. Do we just answer the 7 questions or the 4 questions? Let me take a look just in case, real quick. Whoop, 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 whoop. Guys, you are answering all 7 questions because if you look, hold on, let's take us to the Chrome. If you look, document A questions and document B questions. So if you've read both documents and we're analyzing both documents and comparing and contrasting, should probably be doing all 7, right? That would make the most sense. Okay. So yes, tomorrow, 11:59 p.m. It is not due today. That was a mistake on my part. 11:59 p.m. Tuesday night. But I would strongly suggest doing it today. That helps me make sure I have some stuff ready for tomorrow's stream as well, so we can go over it. And of course, you could always send messages into the Remind, email, Schoology, all that's fine. So if you have any questions that you want to be answered on the stream as well tomorrow, that's great. Let's see. My Schoology app restarted and it won't let me log in with my student login. Is there a different login I need to use? Well, that's my assumption is you're going to have to. I would just retry with the current password because it shouldn't change. And if so, you're going to need to go onto a computer. But go through it's Launchpad or whatever they call it now. But yeah, go through WebNight and it should. You may have to reset your password. So if you haven't reset your password yet, the Schoology app just kind of auto logs you in anyway until it logs out. And so now you're going to need to reset that password. So I agree with the 2 on the bottom. Okay. So now is the time of the stream. It's amazing. We go from like 68 people down to 56 people, mostly because, oh wait, we're actually going to do schoolwork? Oh, that sucks. And then they leave. But now we're getting to the fun part. It's question and answer time. So, we've been in the stream now for a little over a half hour, so that's always fun. But it is your chance. For those of us who've gone ahead and listened here and read the readings, now's your time to go ahead and ask any question in particular you'd like to ask, whether about school, going into this particular assignment. Like I said again, this is different because I don't have the real-time interaction. What are these notes titled? I would go ahead and call this Indian Removal Act. You're going to keep these separated from your Manifest Destiny notes. So you're going to call this just Indian Removal Act. I would title the notes based on today's date. I mean, that also helps. You can call it Indian Removal Act, March 30th, 2020. Okay. So, let's see. There you go. Oh, look, it's Brooke. How's Brooke doing today? Hopefully her hair's grown longer since that last haircut. Now, just kidding. Now, like I said, so question and answer time is brought to you by nothing because I'm not sponsored and I don't make any money on any of this. So, what about our high school forms? That is a great question, Avery. High school forms, they are working on it as we speak. Here's what I would suggest. Now, first off, I would go ahead and take a picture, or if you have a scanner, scan your current form in. I know as of right now, Braden River High School and Lakewood Ranch High School are going to create a generic email for incoming freshmen to go ahead and submit all those documents in there for you. Okay? That they're not going to take physical copies. I'm pretty confident of that. So they're going to do this digitally. So what I would suggest is go ahead and scan them and go ahead or take a picture of it, however you can, and get those ready for emailing because they're probably gonna give us the information coming up soon. Okay, so if that helps, Avery, let me know. I've got Noah asking, so Andrew Jackson didn't like the Native Americans and wanted to take their land. It's a little less, it's not that upfront. He believes that in the concept of manifest destiny, this idea that all territory in the United States from the Atlantic to the Pacific should be a part of the United States. And Native American lands that Americans can't control because of treaties that were created to let them stay on these lands go against that notion. So saying it's boiling it down to he didn't like Native Americans so want to kick them out doesn't really make sense in this particular predicament, because what he's really doing is he wants to utilize American territory, which he believes should be American territory based on the concept of manifest destiny, and is using that mentality to expand American power and authority over American territory. Okay, so yeah, okay. So Hudson saying in terms of the high school registration forms, had to scan it, mail it in to the I think the Hudson, if you can go ahead and let me know. Was it your guidance counselor? Okay, so it's going to the other guidance counselor. That's fine. Okay. Well, you see, Jackson set a precedent of not following some decisions. In that way, Norman is correct on that. So I'm going to bring it up. The concept is that Andrew Jackson expanded presidential power significantly. Okay, he pushed against the concepts that were placed in, the theory by Montesquieu, the idea of separation of power. Well, Jackson felt that who is the Supreme Court necessarily to tell me whether I can or cannot do something, and kind of push it in that direction. Okay. So in terms of NJHS updates, that's Andrew Boudreau asked this question. We are going to have a NJHS meeting, virtual. It's probably not going to be this week, or if it is, it's going to be like Friday, so it's going to be a different day. I've got to get in contact with my officers and figure out how we're going to do this, so that way we can push it back. So my goal is to go ahead and we're going to have an NJHS meeting moving forward for that. We got to plan on, we have an idea for a fundraiser that we are working on right now with the school. The school's got to be, we got to check to make sure that the school is okay with us doing this particular idea. It doesn't require us leaving the house, so that works out well, but we have to figure out how it works. Okay. Dakota Holler, what about officer meeting? Will we still have those, or just regular ones? We'll have officer meetings. Those will happen. We will figure out our protocol for that as well. How do we take a meeting if it's online? Because we're going to create a Schoology group for those who are in NJHS. Again, the virtual meeting is something for you to be. What you're ultimately going to do is we're going to go over it live streaming, doing all that stuff, and then there will be some poll questions and things that you can complete in the group, and whether you complete those poll questions and stuff in the group or discussions in the group will be your attendance. So actually tuning in for the stream is not mandatory nor required. However, if we can do a Schoology conference, which I believe we can also have a Schoology conference as well. That will probably be the most likely of sources. Good point, Andrew. Like I said, a lot of this is up in the air. Just this past week, myself and Ms. Deckling have been tasked with helping all the other teachers become technologically literate and using Schoology. So it is a lot of our week was sacrificed to get everybody ready. So for me, really, for NJHS stuff, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Kathy, I missed the in-school class as well. This is the hardest part. And this is something I want to express to you guys specifically is that you guys have had a rough go of it. I've been teaching since the 2010-2011 school year. But at the same time, we've had things happen, challenges, all sorts of things. This is by far, in my lifetime, really, one of the most difficult things we've had to go through. I mean, but I miss, that's a weird sound. I miss, I miss having you guys in class every day. I miss just the actions of going into work, picking on you guys, doing all these things, and knowing that you guys are stuck at home and you're missing out on the 8th grade experience. It kind of stinks. I'm going to be honest with you. So that happened. I'm glad some of us are okay with this. Some of us don't miss this. They think this is awesome. I don't know. I wouldn't say that this is awesome. Question from Hudson: do we still have testing like FSAs or ESCs? Those have been indefinitely postponed, if not flat out canceled. So I would not worry about those. So those are just, yeah, I agree. It's dumb. The high school EOCs, on the other hand, those are a little bit more ambiguous. But in terms of doing 8th grade level FSAs and things like that, like your English FSA and math FSAs, those are probably done. Those high school EOCs, those I wouldn't be too sure that they wouldn't come back later. They can pull those off digitally online because those are graduation requirements. Those aren't just, think of it this way. The FSAs are a good reflection of, well, not a good reflection, sorry. They are a reflection of what the state would determine whether or not you guys are becoming proficient in your language arts, math, and science levels. Your EOCs is whether you are proficient at your language arts, math, and science things. So the EOCs are part of your graduation tie-in. FSAs, a lot of it depends on progression for earlier elementary levels, but as well as, school grade and all that kind of fun stuff. So, well, you got your MPA in. Knock that one out. So, how do we know we get credits? Okay. On that note, if you took it the EOC online, they would still grade it and they'd still send you out your information that way. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go pull back up because I saw some good questions. Okay, Connor's got answered. Andrew Boudreaux, I'm assuming GradVenture is canceled. I wouldn't necessarily say it's canceled yet. I probably wouldn't put I wouldn't put money on that bet that we are going to be having that. That one's difficult. 8th grade dance. It all depends if we go back to the building this year. If things go well and we can go back, dance is easy to reschedule. We can pull that off. GradVenture is multiple companies we'd have to talk to and figure out how that would work. So as of right now, I don't know. So I'm not going to say it's canceled because that's not a fair assessment to say. Okay, let's see. Any other questions? Okay, apparently Miss Rubel brought up something about the EOC. Is there still going to be a dance? Like I said, dance is most likely of the two between the GradVenture and the dance. The dance is the most likely to be rescheduled. We could pull a dance off with very short amount of time. GradVenture is beyond our control necessarily. That is a lot to do with. That has to do with a company called Educational Experiences or Adventure, something like that, and then Universal. So they would both have to figure out how that would work. Let's see. Would we get an email about... Okay, I don't know which one you need to clarify then. Are they refunding for GradVenture if they cancel it? That I do not know. That is sports have been kind of put on hold, so those are just frozen. So if you're asking about football and other things, those are just kind of frozen right now. Are they going to ask are they going to be able to do refunds? Like I said, it's not just Nolan, it's two different companies that we would have to work around and figure out with. So those are the kind of things that's a time will tell us more as we get there. Whew, this has been like an informational dump load for a stream today. Hopefully our future streams will be a little bit more entertaining, if you will. So let's see. Gray Shaw asks, if we weren't to go back, could we still do the dance and like the NJHS gathering just to get an experience for 8th grade? Now, that is a good question. And one that I'm willing... It's okay. There's only 50 people watching. It does seem low, but not everybody's available every time, and not everybody wants to watch. They can go back and watch it later. It's whatever. If you think about it, though, I have 120 kids, so 50 is about half. It's what it is. So they can watch whatever they want. But again, I'm doing this because there are some of you who do want to do this. So as long as there's some, that's what I will do. But Grace asked, could we do like a dance or something outside? Could we do like an outside dance or something like that? Like we did for NJHS a couple years ago. We did like an outside party. That is something that we can, a lot of it's going to be when a lot of this stuff clears up. And as of right now, we just don't know how long the social distancing is going to go on for, how long a lot of the situations are going to be going on for. So it's a matter of, if, let's say by May, even June, something were to occur where a lot of the, the social distancing lockdowns go down and we can kind of go back to normal, that's something that we would have to ask permission for at the building, and we'd have to get a bunch of people there. So there is hope in one way of that happening, but it'd be a lot of work to get done. Okay, so I mean, it would be indoor. We would not have a dance outside. That would be a nightmare. I would not attend anything that was outdoor. That would be horrifying. So, like I said, anywho, on that note, okay, so we've been going live. Oh, I've been actually on for about 45 minutes now. So, when you guys go through and complete the assignment, make sure you read both documents. Read them both carefully. Answer all 7 questions. I will post the discussion board when I get off of here in a few minutes. I want you to... Lily found the emoji, so that's a terrible thing. Just awful. But I will post the discussion board for you guys, and you guys will be able to... go ahead and answer to the discussion board. There's a little video you can watch of me kind of going over the basis of what the discussion board is. And on that note, you guys will be able to knock 2 birds out with 1 stone. Again, on Schoology, keep it clean, keep it nice, keep it friendly. And when you guys are responding to other people's discussions, that generally helps us a lot maintain this, because if it gets weird and people are saying things they shouldn't be saying and doing that stuff, then this kind of comes to an end and we go the Schoology route, where it's literally going to be me posting assignments, maybe putting a little video out to tell you how to do the assignment, and that is it. And nobody wants to go there. Okay. So for those of us who came in and watched, hopefully this was helpful. Not all my streams are going to be super funny and entertaining. Let's just be honest. It's different when you're not in front of me. My thought is one day we might even stream some of the conferences live, so you guys will be able to be famous and do all that kind of stuff. But a lot of it, oh, look, it's Bridget. I didn't even know she was in here. Must have been a bit of a gap in me seeing her on the screen. Nope. Okay, so a lot of dabbing going on here, unfortunately. My dancing skeleton man was in here. However, my son found it and thought it's now his, so he just dances to it every single time. Well, I'm going to be honest. You cannot stop the people from dabbing. Dabbing is the people's dance. Kathy stayed the whole time. I'm so proud. I know. People dropped in, dropped out. Oh, gosh, Tess. From DJ Croissant, drop the needle and give me a beat. How about no? No. All right. So, anywho, there's some very strange. Oh gosh, so many dabs. Dakota never started any trend. Okay, I was dabbing long before anyone even knew what it was. I'm not going to do it here now because I have self-respect. Okay, let's see. You don't know my powers, my Rob. Okay, that's weird. Okay, I don't know what that means. Well, you creeping me out here, son. So, couple of things. This was day 1. Sure, it probably wasn't the best. It is what it is. Here's what I need commentary. Oh, the sunglasses actually has a very good reason, because I tend to look at myself when I'm on camera, and if it's very off-putting when I go back and watch it. So if I have the sunglasses on, I can look at myself and look like I'm still looking at the camera. So it is mostly for my benefit, not yours. it creeps me out when I'm looking down the whole time. So this way I'm able to look at myself on the camera and look at myself on the screen at the same time. You guys don't know it, but I've got like 3 screens in front of me right now, cameras and light stuff and all these weird things all over the place. So it keeps me from being distracted. So Daniel asks, how do you work these questions and answer them? Well, you read the questions and you got to read the documents first, and then you go through, look what it's asking you to do, and answer them. Okay, so usually, I mean, not being sarcastic here, but I mean, this one's a fairly simple walkthrough. In fact, some of the questions, if you look at questions 1 for each one, it's asking for sourcing. So sourcing simply just means what kind of document was it, where was it from, who wrote it, when was it written. And if you look at the bottom of document A and document B, it actually has a little section called sourcing. And you'll be able to do that. Okay. I know. So, anywho. Now, on that note, my next section for today's stream is this. And hopefully I won't have to do this every single day. Hopefully I'll have to do it maybe the first couple days. Is this. First and foremost. What can I do to add to the stream? Right? I got the funky transitions, right? We can switch between what? PowerPoint time. What? Google time. What? Back home. But if there's anything in particular that I could add to these on a daily basis, let me know in the chat. Go ahead and put that in there for me. Just let me know what are some things that you guys are looking for. What could make it feel a little bit more like home? Do you want us to convert from PDF to Word doc or do the question? I mean, that's it. It is all down on this one, Will. That's down to your personal preference. If you feel that a document, converting it to a Word doc and answering them, because at the end of the day, when you guys submit it, it all kind of looks the same to me. So when I see it, I just see the questions and how you answered it. I only brought up the idea of create it instead of uploading, hit create and answer in there if you don't have the ability to convert the document or you don't know how you're doing that. So we need some fun sound effects. You should have a dog cam. Great. I'd have to go and find. I got to work on something called Camera 2. That is something I've been wanting to incorporate so I can switch over to Camera 2, but it hasn't gotten there yet. Change your profile picture to you eating a donut. I don't want it to be disgusting and horrifying, so we're going to keep that away from there. Brody is actually not here right now. He's with his mom. So he is not available. So I will one day probably bring him in every now and then. Birdie Cam would be constant moving and destruction. He likes to break everything. That's his new thing now. Okay. It's professional and I love it. I mean, it took him maybe about an hour on after, not even an hour. Like 30 minutes on After Effects to get my little whoop whoop. Woo. Woo. I should probably teach Photoshop and After Effects at school. And Premiere Pro's easy. I mean, honestly, let's do that. Okay. Oh, so you want a daily behind the scenes of Mr. Rob? I thought about doing that. We bought a truck yesterday, so I thought about vlogging my whole buying a truck experience, but that was miserable and terrible. So that would be the least exciting video of all time. So we could do that. It's going to be very boring. A lot of me grading assignments, making lesson plans, answering emails, eating toast with avocado, trying to stay somewhat healthy as I suck down a gigantic drink. Ugh. It's terrible. Let's see. Kathy, when is this going to end? Well, apparently, Kathy, as soon as possible. I'll just go ahead and log out now. So we'll just go ahead and make this over as fast as possible. Make a joke of the day. A joke of the day would not be very funny. I mean, I'm not a joke teller. I'm just really good at insulting you guys, and it comes across as funny, even though I'm being very serious. You guys laugh at it, so I just keep going. Maybe I think of it. Could you do streams of Fortnite? I will never stream Fortnite. I am not good at Fortnite. I'm not very good at shooting games in general. But please no. Okay, make a week-long vlog called A Week in the Life of a Legendary Vlog. That's a lot of vlogs. Oh wow. Okay, well, let's not all jump on Kathy at the same time. Ooh, Mom. That's just abusing. Okay, just think. I was gonna go bring Kathy's little painting home and put it right here on this blank spot in the wall, but we're just gonna have to leave that in the building. So, anyhow, so I can add some sound effects and things like that. Game streaming, that'll be a weekend thing. I'm not going to do that during the week because I have to cook dinner and live insult of the day. Oh man, there's just too many. Oh, and the legendary Mr. Rob, clearly. Okay. Smash Brothers streams. Oh, that sounds more like your brother, but that's whatever. Oh, we could do that. I could probably do that if it's not like I have anything prepared for it anyway. Oh no, I do have those things. Oh, that's for another time. Add a subscriber pop-up thing when someone subs. I mean, that would be beneficial if, I had millions of subscribers and those things would pop up. But as of right now, the last person to subscribe was over an hour ago. So you'll probably see them once every so often unless you unsubscribe and resubscribe every single time. But that would just kind of throw my numbers off and it'd be kind of weird. And going back earlier, I don't make any money from this. I don't have nearly enough subscribers, nearly enough content, nearly enough video time, blah, 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 blah. So you can copyright strike this video 1,000 times over. I was never going to make money on it in the beginning. I may have made a nickel. Okay, so it's not really getting anything. You can teach me to get good at Smash Brothers. Well, that would imply if I was any good at Smash Brothers to teach you. Should send me food somehow. Okay, well, that's Uber Eats, and you have your own money, so you can do that. Should send a video of the day of me, and you can put it on. Sure. Make fun of Tessa's hair on a daily basis. Actually, you know what? I bought a croissant over the weekend I was going to have for this initial stream, but I got hungry and I ate it. So, okay, let's see. You have 100 videos. I don't think I have 100 videos. I think I got like 4. Let's see. A video of the day. Mr. Rob should send everyone donuts. That's not going to happen, because even if I did, even if I was nice, ask Brooke, because Brooke would remember me bringing donuts for the class, and I possibly ate it. Okay, Miss Steckling's asking me a question now via text message, asking where you guys send your forms. So I will let her know that as well. Make fun of Kathy. Well, making fun of Kathy, I make fun of her all the time. Isn't there anybody? I mean, I was at Home Depot over the weekend. I had to buy new flowers for my flower bed. I thought I ran into Nick. Well, hey guys, I'm just here at the Home Depot picking up some flowers and a shovel. Because bury the haters. No, that's not what's going to happen at all. So sorry, Nick. I saw that. Let's see. I'm not bullying Kathy. Kathy's just. She's. Can't it be nice? I don't know. Kathy's Kathy. So let's see. What do we got? Save it next time. I'll try, but it's easier said than done. Eat a croissant on stream. That's true. I mean, apparently some people's made a bunch of money from just eating food on the internet. So, hey, maybe I can do that too. I know who Golden Eagle is. Trust me. Okay, I'm gonna watch that Falcon fly away. Gotta bury the haters. Okay, that's it. When you're saying it that way, it's so dark. That's terrible. Dakota got her braces off. Pile that into the. I was gonna say no one cares file, but that's okay. It's no one cares enough to even have the file. Can you talk about when Nancy Pelosi ripping papers? Oh, no, we cannot, Evan. And remember, 7 period stays in 7 period, even in the digital world. Okay? Where is Maeve's beautiful painting of you? That one I need to bring home because I need to put it outside to keep people from trying to take my stuff. That will scare enough people away. I don't know what an ASMR is. So, again, remember, I'm old. Okay, I'm an old man, so you guys have to help me out with this. This is how I get good. So eventually, I can become a professional YouTuber and quit teaching permanently, and I can go and just do this all the time, and I never have to come back to Nolan. I'm just kidding. I like being a teacher, and I could never be a famous YouTube star. No, that's not true. I can't. So, like I said, oh man, this stream has been going for an hour and 41 minutes. Now, keep in mind, 41 minutes of it was it counting down. And the counting down process is let's see, Mr. Robinson, 100 subs. All right, so, Evan, I'm not quite sure if you're talking about Subway subs or subscriptions. Either one, I probably hit 100 subs by this morning. Let's see. If you did a podcast on food, who would your co-host be? That is a great question. I really should do a Mr. Robinson Eats video or like podcast. Podcast would be a very long experience of me just talking by myself. So I'm gonna have to get someone. We've been on for an hour. I know it sounds depressing when you say it that way. Okay, I was forced to sleep until 8 a.m. Wait, who forced you to sleep until that late? It's a good waste of time. I appreciate it. Love when I'm being told it's a waste of time. I mean, we did the educational stuff for about 30 minutes, but today's assignment was very quick and easy. And if we were in class, honestly, I wouldn't have even talked for that long. You guys would have probably just sat and did the. Ooh, excuse me. We probably would have just sat and did that. Let's see. I think this is going off topic, yo. Welcome home. So, let's see. Your co-host should be me. Unfortunately, I don't have the clearances to go into a prison. Let's see. Get Brody to help you. Brody, I mean, if we wanted to do a watching Brody eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich mess video, that's a horrifying cleanup involved. Brody should be the co-host. The only thing he would want to co-host is a live watching of Toy Story, because that's all he ever wants to do. Okay. So that would be unfortunate. But we'll find some additional things in here to do this, but educationally. So, are you kidding? This is the best part of my day. Then, Dakota, you need a better part of your day. you need to find a hobby. Knit a sweater. Okay, warm yourself up. Do something. I mean, this is definitely not my best part of the day. You should bring in a special guest. You know what? I have a couple people lined up as a possibility. Do a live stream watching Toy Story. That would be horrible. I've watched Toy Story at least twice a day, minimum, for about 6 months. Okay, so I could word for word recite the entire movie while it's playing. It's not great. Guys, I found out pumpkins are fruit. Well, they have seeds. It's weird. Live watching of Toy Story and Mr. Robinson sent us popcorn. I mean, it's a possibility. We'll see. I don't think Brody could sit still long enough really to be recorded watching Toy Story the whole time. Okay. Well, apparently, because let's see, don't worry. Bridget and I have online dance from 5 till 9. You know what? Bridget and Dakota's dancing was so bad anyway when they were getting live instruction, but imagine what their online dancing is going to be. Oh, man. That's unfortunate. Let's see. Kathy, give us 2 of the winning groups of videos. Like I said, Wednesday, 11:45. Be there or be a rhombus. And we're going to go over that. Get teachers to go on a special... I will try. I think that would be interesting. I just got to find which teachers would actually be willing to do it, because some of them are afraid to be online live and actually know that there's kids watching. Give us 2 of the contenders. We already know who the contenders are. Did we do this already? If I'm not mistaken, from second period, it's Norm, Cool Boy Norm, and his gang. They'll be on there. From third period, I believe it was Kathy Ainsley and is it Mary Allison? I think, yeah, live from the hotel. Fun. And then from fourth period, it was Amy and Allie. So we're going to have to see. We'll have to see which one wins on that one. So we'll have to watch all three. Maybe we'll watch them tomorrow, and then we'll announce the winner again on Friday. Or Friday. Wednesday. It's going to be Wednesday. Okay. Let's see. My hair is very long now, and I can put it up and look like a samurai. Sorry, I had to do that. I had to be clear on that one. Okay. So we're going to have to watch this live. I mean, that's the only way to best get it. So I know Ainsley is not okay with this, but it'll be fine. So, anyhow, our viewer count is dropping like flies. So, anywho, before my confidence falls as low as my viewer count, I'm going to have to go. I have to get some stuff ready for some of the other teachers, including Miss Rogers and stuff, because they have their own YouTube things going on, and they need to learn how to do that. And ultimately, here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. Please stay inside. Please stay safe. Wash your hands. Do all the fun stuff that they've asked us to do. We're going to make this as close to the real live Robinson Mr. Experience as possible. It's a matter of just trying to maintain this in some possible way. Tomorrow's lesson, we're going to go into Industrial Revolution. All of it is brand new. And ultimately, it is what it is, guys. So, again, you guys can go back and watch this again later. I'm going to go ahead and post this. This is already going to be posted. So go ahead and make sure you go ahead and click like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. So that way I know that way we can go ahead and do this for the next stream. And so I will see you guys later.